Hi and welcome to Diabetes TV. Today we're going to talk about how do you know if you've got diabetes or not.
I think the amazing thing about diabetes is that, particularly for type 2, it's quite a silent disease and people often don't know that they have it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like a broken arm or a heart attack that lets you know it's there.
Exactly.
It creeps up on you over the years.
Absolutely. I mean, so as we said before, there's 3 different types. The first being type 1, and obviously that's regularly diagnosed in children, and it becomes quite obvious after a period of time with extreme thirst and need to go to the toilet all the time that there's something wrong.
And also weight loss, dramatic changes in mood. So type 1, by the time it gets to a bad level, it's quite obvious that you have it. And most people tend to go to hospital feeling very badly, and they do a blood glucose test and find their glucose levels are in the 30s.
Yeah. Whereas type 2 tends to creep up on it. So I think with type 2 you would have to think about the risk factors.
Yeah, which are?
Age.
Age, so being over 40.
Yeah. Race.
So more indigenous cultures tend to be more at risk of diabetes, like Maori, Islander, even Indian, Chinese.
Then there's your activity level, so whether you're active or not.
Yeah, so if you're not active, you're at risk of diabetes.
That's it. And if you have a poor diet, so high levels of junk food, or just if you haven't seen a raw vegetable for some time, that might produce a problem.
Yeah. Also being overweight, particularly weight around your stomach, puts you at risk of diabetes.
Absolutely. So what we usually do, because it's so silent, we recommend to our clients that they get checked every year over the age of 40, but with their GP, just with a regular blood test.
Yeah, because as you said before, it is such a silent thing. Our body can be really struggling with insulin resistance and managing our glucose levels, and we don't actually know about it. So getting tested is the best way to do it.
Absolutely. So, I mean, what usually happens is that you'll have a fasting blood test, and that means you don't eat overnight, obviously. Get up in the morning, go straight to your doctors and have a blood test done. So the numbers are, if you're under 5.5, it's unlikely that you'll have diabetes.
You tend to be alright.
If it's over 5.5 up to sort of 6.9, your GP might send you off for another test called an oral glucose tolerance test. And that just gives us a more definitive answer as to whether or not you actually have type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, because when you're in that in-between range, and as we said before, diabetes is a progressive disease that gets worse over a period of time. So if you're in that range, you could be either at risk of diabetes or have it, and that's why that other test is done.
Yeah, and over 7, your GP might still send you for an oral glucose tolerance test, or they might say, oh, that's enough for me. I would say you have type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, and we start to look at addressing that. So I suppose the big message on this one is that diabetes tends to be quite a silent disease, particularly type 2, and by the time you start to see symptoms, you're in big trouble because it's quite progressed. Yeah. And as you said before, the real key is to get tested on a regular basis, especially if you have those risk factors.
Excellent. All right, well, look, have a look around the website, and yeah, we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks a lot.